All right, folks, it's another Tuesday in the life of the world, and from a little hangout somewhere in Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to the Journalist Hangout Show. I am Citizen Jones Hussein, and today on this program, protests rock APC Secretariat in Abuja as 20 Kogi Governorship aspirants reject indirect primary. Opposition lawmakers threaten showdown with PDP over House of Reps minority positions, and they ask party to reverse suspension of Honorable Elumelu and others. And later on this one, Senator Elisha Abbo, arraigned by police, pleads not guilty of sex toy shop assault of a woman. But let's tell you, I'm hanging out with Dare Udufonokon. Dare, I greet you.
Thank you very much.
We also have Waidi Bakar. Waidi, I haven't seen you in a long while.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been down the way.
Yeah, and making money. Good, good. No, good for you. Okay, so the team is ready. I hope you are. By the way, we expect Tony Waje in the course of the evening. You know, let's go straight to business. One of the headaches with governing people, and there are so many of them, is that of getting whom to do the job. And that's why those who must rule people by all means turn out to be the least equipped. Ahead of the November 16 Kogi State Governorship polls, 20 hopefuls of the All Progressives Congress APC on Monday protested the adoption of indirect primary mode adopted by the National Working Committee of the party. The Forum of APC Governorship aspirants addressed a letter to the national chairman of the party, Adams Oshomole, warning of serious negative consequences on the party fortunes at the elections. We've been there before. Only fools wait to learn from their own errors. But let's share the story with you. Hold on before we hit the road.
The All Progressives Congress has adopted indirect primary election mode for Kogi State Governorship poll. The decision was taken at a meeting of the party's National Working Committee, which held last Friday. The approval was also given after the meeting, where a formal request from the Kogi State Executive and stakeholders in preference for the indirect primary was considered and deliberated on. 20 aspirants of the party is protesting the adoption of the indirect primary for the party's flag bearer in the state. These aspirants say they were not consulted by the party before arriving at such decision.
As a party committed to the enthronement of popular democracy, the resort to an indirect primary in Kogi State chapter of the APC amount to a muzzling of the wish of the generality of our party members, a victory for merchandise political culture, and a difference to Governor Yahya Bello's wish to be the judge in his own case.
The party is yet to announce a date or release a timetable for the purchase of forms and the conduct of the primary election.
Dare, you know, the biggest disease in the country today is neither malaria nor HIV. It is impunity by the political class. Did that make sense to you?
In relations to
to the subject matter, yeah.
In a lot of sense, I would say.
Why must you wait to learn from your own mistakes?
In fact, in this case, I don't see it as APC giving itself an opportunity to learn again. Indirect primary, maybe we need to explain what that is first. Simply means some delegates, most likely party executives from state, local, and ward level will choose the candidates. Then usually they have a way of saying all political office holders are delegates. Party leaders are delegates. And these people who employed or appointed the political office holders, one of the aspirants, the sitting governor, employed or appointed these people who will now decide who will be the candidate of the party. Given the background of the crisis in Kogi APC, given unending outcries about governance in that state, these are mere assumptions until they are proven that the people may actually be desiring some form of change. Given the need to ensure that whoever will be the candidate of such a party in this forthcoming election must be acceptable to the people of the state, I think, in my own opinion, that it would have been better for Kogi APC or the National Secretariat Party to choose direct primaries, which will allow party members. We saw what happened in Lagos during the last election. We saw what happened in Ogun during the last election, and some other states where there were issues, disagreements within the leadership of the party as to where the pendulum should swing about candidacy. And then the national leadership of the party decided that, look, if you leaders will not agree, you are divided down the line, supporting various candidates, supporting various arguments, then let's give members of the party in the state the chance to decide who should be their candidate. And we saw the outcome. Some hitherto persons perceived as untouchables or people who cannot lose the primary lost, and nothing happened. They lost, nothing happened because the people saw a process that every member of the party participated in. And at the end of that process, it was acceptable. So if you now decide that political aides or official aides of a governor should go into a primary election to decide whether that governor should be the candidate or not, I don't see fairness in this. That is why you are seeing. Then let me quickly add this.
Okay.
About 24 aspirants have, signified interest in the race. The constitution of APC itself that gives room for the party to choose which mode of primary says any mode of primary you use must be by consensus.
Yeah.
Everybody must agree.
Must be on board,
Where 20 out of about 24 are saying we don't agree, how representative is that choice? And that's a question for the party.
Without prejudice to your position, let me throw this in. If you are popular, it only means you will not be afraid of any process of electing whoever represents the party.
That's the ultimate truth. You know, as women, we are prone to make mistakes, but we are not expected to repeat that mistake. It means that we have not learned from that mistake. Once a mistake is a mistake, but to repeat a mistake has become stupidity. It's no longer a mistake. You can't call it a mistake because you have the opportunity of learning from it. That's what I expect APC to do. You know, we are aware of the fact that they can use 3 methods to decide whoever the flag bearer will be at the end of the day. It's either consensus, direct or indirect. Yeah. But it is in the best interest of the party to go for the wishes of the people. You know, we all know that if you do indirect, it's likely to favor the sitting governor, you know, because of the way and manners of the people that will vote. It's expected that they are going to want to vote via their principal. We hope that, you know, if you eventually become the governor,
the boys will be, you know, taken care of.
Yes, you know. But, you know, we have a situation where people are not saying we don't want. And you expect that the party will have learned from what happened in Zamfara. You know, you cannot say that too. You can't say that thunder cannot strike twice. If the opportunity arises, it can strike more than 2 times. You know, if you give room for the same thing to happen, people will capitalize on it. Even if at the end of the day you have your way, the judiciary is still there to decide at the end of the day. Like we all saw in Zamfara. And you don't have to blame for your loss. You know, you have yourself to blame.
Why another angle to this is, yes, they say, my people will say, when you warn the mother hen about exposing the chicks to danger, you must also talk to the hawk, you know. The National Working Committee, NWC of the APC, should not be like a monolith. It played the father figure role here.
See, quickly before, yes, the national leadership, which is the working committee now, should play father figure. Yes, they will tell you that what they have just done is playing father figure. We asked them, which mode will you like? And they chose one, and we said, okay, let it go. That's where
nobody asked again, who are these we?
Who are the we? That is where I'm going. The question they should see, there was a meeting. Who were at the meeting? You see, we need to put this thing in proper perspective. The meeting where the adoption was announced was the meeting of the state leadership, state executive council of the APC and the national leadership of the party. The aspirants were not represented. They assumed that the leadership of the party in the state should be able to speak for the party in the state. Assuming without considering, yes, this should be true, the truth. Yeah. But is it the truth in Kogi? I'll say no, because the governor obviously has the party, the leadership of the party in the state in his firm control. So he said, look, this is what will be in our interest, probably, I'm assuming, and then go there and ask for what will be in our interest. The state leadership should be able to convince the national leadership of the party that we spoke to all the aspirants and we agreed that we should go for indirect primary. The protest in Abuja already put a light to that. If they agree, they won't be out there protesting. Then you said about what you said before, that if you are popular,
you must not be afraid of any.
No, I disagree.
Oh, really?
When you see a process that you know is already tilted against you, if you are not careful, if you go headlong into such a contest, you will lose headlong. This process where...
You won't have any more discussion to say you
want to protest. But you already participated. You can't complain
again.
So they complain now because they already see a flawed process.
All right.
If the aides of the governor who would not vote against their principal are going to be delegates, and they don't have aides who will be selected as delegates, if the state leadership, which already told everybody by virtue of what they chose where they are, will be delegates, then it will be foolhardy for any aspirant to say, I am popular, let's go.
Quite a lot to talk about. You know, the constraint on the show is always time. We'll take this breather and return. Please don't go away. All right, folks, let's keep it going. If you missed it, all is not well in the Kogi State APC, you know, in regards to the November 16 governorship elections. Well, the means of producing a candidate for the party is at issue. Let me quickly welcome gentleman Tony Nwaje. Tony, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening.
They said you went to Abuja to see what's happening. Yeah. So what can you tell us regarding the drama playing out in Kogi State?
All I have to say is this. The party needs to be very, very extra careful. Recent example, recent events, you know, the election and the outcome, supposed to be like a wake-up call. You know, it's supposed to put the party on edge, and so that they don't make that same mistake over and over again. They are yet to recover from the mistake of that election, and they are about to make another. People in Kogi are saying, this is what we want. I don't expect the party at the national headquarters to take decisions for people, stakeholders in the state. I mean, these are the real actors. Because the implication, I mean, we've seen it happen in Zamfara, for instance, and other states.
And Rivers.
So it's going to happen again if care is not taken. So right now, what I'm saying,
that's your forecast.
Yes, that's the party knows. They know, and the protest from the stakeholders tells you that if the party should go ahead and go ahead without indirect primaries, there'll be crisis.
Tony, but sometimes when I hear things like this, I get a little worried because the great Napoleon Bonaparte said, in politics, stupidity is not a handicap, you know. Maybe they know how they play the game. But you know, there is a subsisting matter that has to do with the question of the authentic leadership of the APC in Kogi State. And the case is listed for hearing on October 2nd.
2nd, yes.
So factor that into into the...
So I would have expected that even if the party wants to have its way, I mean, at the national level, they should have waited. It is prudent for them to wait for the outcome of that.
Less than how many weeks? 3 weeks to the election?
Because of the fact that whatever, how do you now identify which is the authentic ESCO now? If you are insisting on going with what they have chosen, how do you identify that in a party that has been seriously polarized? There's no doubt about it that APC is well positioned to win that election, provided they are going to get it right, because everything favors them. If you look at the last election, they won 2 out of the senatorial seats, 2 out of 3, 7 out of 9 House of Reps. Then they won all the 25 House of Assembly. Yeah. A party like that is well positioned to win that election, provided they are going to get it right.
Play by the rules.
That is the only thing that can guarantee victory.
Yeah.
Because we have seen presidents in Zamfara. We saw what's happening in River State. There can still be a repeat of that if care is not taken.
Take me back there, Dare, because Tony will be interested in this. If you are popular, you will not be agitated about a process of picking a candidate. Right, wrong? I know it's debatable.
It is good. It is debatable. Let me say something on the court proceeding on the party. I don't think the National Assembly should wait for them. The
National Working Committee
should wait for that. It didn't start yesterday. It didn't start. It's been there. And if they are going to wait, and that's an adjournment, they could get to court on that day. That's another adjournment. This is but however, that is the more reason why what they will do in Kogi should have been more, all-inclusive. You know quite well that this state leadership is still being questioned. We invited that same state leadership to take a decision on an issue as important as the mode of primary. What happens to other stakeholders in the state? What happened to even the other faction dragging the leadership of the state? You could have bring all of them together. As the constitution of this party stipulates, it says, whatever mode you will adopt must be a consensus.
Agreeable to all parties.
Agreed to by all stakeholders.
Yeah.
That has not been done yet. Talking about being popular and not being afraid of any process, like I said before, if you are popular and you see a process that is from the onset flawed against you,
who sees it?
The protesting aspirants in their own belief think they are popular. And now they are seeing a process that will deny them of the outcome of their popularity.
I threw that in because of the governor himself, who is a prime candidate.
The governor is having his way. What he wants is what the National Working Committee has adopted. If he now goes ahead to win...
If the governor, who is father of the state, says, no, I'm the father here, let's go for what...
He can't decide.
He can't decide.
He's also a player in the...
He's a player?
He can't decide. It's like saying he should be a judge in his own case.
You know very well.
We
all know very well that this is a case of the puppet and the puppeteer. Whether he's deciding or he's not deciding, whether he's speaking or he's not speaking, we know the truth. Yes, those who are speaking, are they speaking for themselves? Are they candidates or aspirants in this race? No. Why are they insisting on indirect? Because they see that this is where their own bread is buttered. And if you say I should go and vote against my principal in an election as a delegate,
we have Ibrahim, I'm sure. Rahim is reaching us from Osun State. Rahim, please join the fray. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I'm listening to your thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, welcome.
Yeah, I'm listening to your conversation. The governor there is still popular. He is still popular. All those protests are being instigated by politicians. The governor will win hands down. Thank you very much.
Okay, Tony. So if you are coming from, you are popular, must you take things for granted? No. Because the enemy is looking for loopholes.
Yes, if you're popular, you don't need to be scared, no matter the process initiated.
Yeah.
That, in this case, why I know why all of them are crying, because they know the process is tilted in the direction of one of the participants in that election, which is unfair. It's unfair. And I don't know why we should even make it an issue. The moment they protested, you call them on a table. It's not for the governor alone.
If you want
the governor
peace.
knows. No, the governor knows these are people he has been working with before now. And so no, I mean, why can't you put that? And then I think again, I need to appeal to the NWC of the party. They need to be careful. I said it again. I'm saying it. Yeah. I've said it before. I'm saying it again. If they handle this issue carelessly, they will lose Kogi. Mark my word.
Sir, we have company from Taraba State. Murphy is here. I greet you, sir.
Hello, citizen.
Yeah, welcome, sir.
Good evening. My name is Bobby Kennedy. I'm calling you from Jalingo, Taraba State, sir.
Let's go, yeah.
All right. If you remember sometime last year, before the Adamawa elections, the former SDF predicted that if the APC went ahead with the indirect primaries, they are going to lose the election. And it has come to pass. I remember on that very day, I called you people and I complained about the APC crisis in my own state. Now, it's like the ruling party don't want to get things right. Now, I see exactly what transpired in Zamfara. It's about to happen in Kogi State. Look, the truth of the matter is just like the quote you just said. There are a whole lot of. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. I just have to use that word. There are some of politicians that are actually very stupid. I'm sorry to use that harsh word, but that is just the content. They failed to learn from their previous mistakes, of which they've forgotten that this country belongs to all of us. And if we don't do these things to get things right, Nigeria will actually suffer it, and our unborn children. Oh yeah.
Why do you know? And so you can sit here in this small hangout and look at the tomorrow of Nigeria, not just the APC, the Nigeria in generality, you know, and say, what seeds are we sowing now?
Well, the party should be worried of setting another vice president for itself, you know. It's the party that will lose. Like I said, going by the outcome of last election, you can say that the party is in a pole position to win that governorship election, provided they get it right.
On paper,
it's not automatic.
It favors them on paper. Yeah.
Also, you know, if you look at the performance now, you know how eyes are we going to judge it? You know, if they won 2 out of 3 senatorial seats, 7 out of 9 House of Reps, and they won 25 of the 25 available seats at national, it's a party to beat. It's a party to beat.
Well, do you know I want to disagree with that?
Even presidential election, they did quite well.
Just a minute. Let me learn. Take it on.
Even the presidential election, they did quite well in Kogi. APC did quite well. There's no doubt about it. You know, a party like that, you can say, okay, if the party puts his house in order, like we all know that politics is an interest-driven game. You know, call the aggrieved parties together. What do you want? How do you go about it? What is important is for us not to lose this state.
What are you disagreeing with? 30 seconds.
One of the reasons why the National Working Committee will be making this mistake is believing in this kind of permutation that the party appears to be on ground. I'll take you to Bauchi. The APC did very well in the presidential election, winning by a wide margin. They swept the House of Assembly, did well in the House of Representatives, had all the Senate, but they lost the governorship.
I put a caveat. I said, provided they get it right.
What I'm saying is, we should not begin to measure the popularity of an individual with the popularity of the party.
That's where the mistake is going to come from.
Yes, the governor's popularity is not synonymous to the popularity of the party. If a party that is popular chooses an unpopular candidate, it will lose.
Okay, we must move on. We must move on. As we always say here, as is to provoke debate, you be a part of the debate. But one last line for the governor of Kogi State: don't back a losing horse. Okay, you know, the intense jostling for positions in the House of Representatives hots up, even as opposition lawmakers there threaten a showdown with the major opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, over minority positions. In politics, people are put in different positions for different reasons. Trouble started when the PDP suspended one of its own, Honorable Ndudi Elumelu, who is House Majority Leader. Minority. The second leg was the suspension of the lawmakers loyal to Elumelu, which announcement was made by PDP spokesman Kola Olobodiyan. I hope I got that right. Now, the backbreaker came when Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila announced the names of minority leaders as distinct from those supplied by the PDP. The man in the center of it all is from Tony Nwaje is Delta. Let's go there quick.
Yes.
The picture on the floor.
Well, you know, Ndudi just came back today. He wasn't. He was a member of the House before now, so this is like more his second coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So, and then this crisis. Before I came, I spoke with a chieftain of the party, the local government where he came from, and he told me that yesterday they had a press conference, you know, where they chose to say they're backing him.
Ndudi.
Yeah, yes. That's the local government where there's PDP Delta North.
Is backing Elumelu.
Yes, backing Elumelu as the National Assembly minority leader. And that is where they stand. Yesterday, the governor of the state had his birthday. Ndudi was not there.
Was not invited?
I'm sure he would have been invited. And from investigation, I discovered that the state PDP is not in line with the action Ndudi Elumelu took. So I see a kind of friction.
What action now of not attending the birthday?
For accepting to be a minority leader.
Okay.
The state PDP is unacceptable to the state PDP, and what I see now is a crisis between the local government and the state.
On the one hand?
Yes, between now and Friday, I see something popping up. That is what I can say for now. Ndudi, I think, did not consult well. He's capable. He can handle that position very, very well. What I see happening in the party now is a crisis within that party. And yesterday, Edwin Clark came out in support. The governor of Ebonyi State, I think Umahi, the other day, congratulated him, I think the day after. And yesterday, his group at the National Assembly came out in support. I see him doing what he ought to have done before, what he ought to have done earlier, doing it now. I think at the end of the day, there will be a middle ground. There will be a middle ground. The mistake has been made. He's capable. He can handle that position perfectly. And the impression within the party is that the governor of Rivers State seems to be having his way at all times. That is the feeler within the party. And it shouldn't be like that all the time. So
okay. Let's take a breather now. We'll be back shortly. Okay, then, we're still in Kogi State, gentlemen.
Delta State.
Delta State. House of Reps and oh, come on. I got overawed by Kogi. Thinking about all these things at the same time. Yeah, Whitey, you know, they say if you want to know what life is down there, what life is like at the bottom, wait for a time like this in politics. People think it is the last hope they have. They must remain in contention. So politics is a way of life here. It has come to stay. It's either politics or nothing.
Yes. It's because our political offices, they are so attractive, and people want to do whatever they want to give you whatever it takes, you know, to be there. But we should not forget the fact that apart from PDP, there are other minority parties. Apart from PDP. PDP is the main minority party, no doubt about it, going by the number of House of Reps members they have. But don't also forget the fact that there are members from ABGA, PRP, AA, LP,
ADC and SDP.
Yeah. And what all these other parties are saying is that you cannot single-handedly and pick somebody.
When we have a stake.
When we also have a stake. And that it has happened in the past. There have been presidents in the past whereby, you know, maybe the minority whip will be from a particular party. The deputy will be from another party. It happened under Bajabi Amila, you know.
So in other words, they're saying, as winner, don't take everything.
Don't take everything. Then you cannot single-handedly now say you are picking some people. It has to be a consensus. There has to be a consensus among all other minority parties.
Yeah.
Let's agree. It is based on that that the other parties are now backing Elumelu, that he has our backing. We are aware that we all unpick him. We all supported him with a large number from PDP. Now it's not to the other minority, but this one that you people are bringing, we are not aware of it. It was singularly done by PDP, and they won't accept it.
Yeah.
You know, if you are saying minority, it's not about one party. There are other parties like I've just read out. So what's the input of those parties there? Are they no longer minority? Are you going to say, because you have the majority among the minority, it's not enough for you to now say you now take everything? That's the annoyance of the party. I think that is why...
Larry, what he's saying just reminds me of what the American president, later President Nixon, the first to resign his office, he said, politics is like the Olympics, but also unlike it. Olympics is about competition. That at the Olympics, you take first, you win gold. Second, you win silver. Third, bronze. But in politics,
You win all.
nothing for you as runner-up.
Runner-up has no prize in politics.
Okay.
Because the runner-up has prize. The constitution or the electoral law will have decided that when you contest for governor, whoever takes first should be the governor. Whoever comes next should be the deputy governor. But it is not so. So it's such, the design is such that the runner-up has no prize. However, talking about what is happening on the floor of the Green Chamber, I want the PDP to be good sportsmen, and they should display
At least disabuse our minds.
about what we think about them.
Disabuse our minds.
You will remember in 2015, the APC kept saying, since we are in the majority in the National Assembly, the Senate, we should decide who should be the leader of the House and the Senate. The PDP said, no. The fact that you are in the majority does not mean that we don't have say. A good example that many Nigerians felt, well, they are talking sense, and they had their way then, backing candidates who were not the candidates of the APC. Now the table turned. They did the same thing 2019, supported Ndume against Lawa, whom the APC have chosen just a few weeks ago. Now, there is need to choose minority leaders. PDP is not the only party with minority reps. And PDP, in a show of arrogance, as I want to put it, sat down in their, Wadata Plaza and wrote a list. They could not even be nice enough to say, okay, give the list position to one of these people.
Other minority parties.
Other minority parties. They sent the list to Gbajabi Amila. He is a speaker. He received the list and wanted
if you come second in politics,
show.
Yeah.
But he wanted to read. But other minority leaders said, parties on the floor said, no, we are not aware of this list we are reading. Aren't we supposed to have a say? And he said, okay, all of you are here now. What I want you to know is that 5 other minority rep members won't change anything. Even today, Lumelu is not having the chunk of the PDP people there. The truth of the matter is, Ndidi has been able to convince his party men not to toe the path designed by their party leadership. Just like Saraki was able to convince APC men in 2015 to ignore the party and follow him, as he was ably supported by this same PDP. See, what we are seeing is a replay. Politicians must learn to do things the right way, because each time you set the wrong precedence, it will come back to haunt you. That's what I have to say.
Why did so we go to the order suspending Elumelu and 4 others?
Yeah, 5 others.
So what will this bring to the table?
Well, we are also, I'm also aware of, we have said it times down on this show that, party supremacy is also important. If your party says, this is the position we are taking, I can't imagine if APC, I don't know how this way, during the National Assembly leadership election, it won't go well for the party. If the party says, because you exist at the mercy of your party, first and foremost, it was the party that gave you that ticket, that opportunity for you to represent them. So I've seen no reason why you should go against the wish of your party. For him, I don't think that one is right. But the only thing is that they can also not do it without the input of other minority parties, like I've said earlier on. But for party discipline, you have to toe the line of your party. that discipline is very, very important because it will, in a way, have a spiral effect on the larger society. Politicians should learn to be disciplined.
Yeah. Tony, I'm looking at some names of those involved. Honorable Wole Oke, Linda Ekwazu, that's a familiar name.
Even Wole Oke.
Anna, Wole Oke. Yes. Edwin, Anna Edwin, Gideon Gwadi, Toby Okechukwu, and Adekoya Abdul Majid.
These are not pushovers in PDP.
Okay, I can go ahead.
Yeah, go on.
What happened is just simply politics. Simply politics. I know what is playing out. Everybody wants to be at the helm of affairs. It happened in the Senate. The party presented a list. And the second list, the list at the House of Representatives, still had the minority parties in it. I think they pull the rug off the feet. Not that the minority were not included. He wants to be the Senate leader, House of Assembly, minority.
Sorry, we have company. Frank. Frank is here, and he wants to be frank with his thoughts. Frank, let's have you. Hello, Frank, are you there? Tony, go on.
So, of course, during the election of Yahya Bello and the role a section of the PDP played in its election, they just came out. The party knows them now, and they seem to be leading them. So it's payback time.
Okay.
It's simple. It's payback time.
Is that why the speaker announced Elumelu?
Yes. Before that time, the list came out about 2 weeks ago. This list that you have a change and all that, PDP list, came out 2 weeks before this.
So there was time enough to have done a lot of
and do the underground work. So because many times the name ought to have been announced long before the speaker brought it up. So party supremacy, just as I mentioned, is key.
Sorry, let me quickly take Frank. Frank, please welcome. Good evening.
Good afternoon. Mr. Jones, how are you?
I'm fine, and you? Go on. Let's go.
You see, when I look at this platform, I feel like shame of myself being in Nigeria. Because this shows that all of them are going there for their own interest, not for the people. Now, Tony, I'm from North, I'm from Delta North. I have not seen what this man, because if you look around now, what has he done in Delta State with all these years spent in Senate? You come to Delta State, go to the North, there's nothing can show that this man is representing our people. For me, I believe they are just there for themselves, they're not there for us. So that's why you see them fighting themselves, kill themselves just to maintain that position. But I thank God that God is God. Whatever they are doing, I know that the whole day they will die and leave all these things.
Oh, come on.
Tony, just to a little chip in. Let me chip in a little on what is just said. When he was a member of the House of Assembly before is it the 6th?
House of Reps.
House of Reps. House of Representatives.
Yeah.
He was the chairman House Committee on Power.
On Power, yes.
He wasn't laid back. He headed the and was all over the country. He contributed immensely.
He was.
Yeah, he did his best.
Hold on. He was and still is your man. Frank is not.
Frank is talking about what he did in Delta
But I'm from there.
Frank is asking, which is a
general.
When it comes to that, Ndudu did his best in the local government.
Okay.
Yes, let's take the
Frank, take that home.
Yeah, he did his best. It was a House Committee Chairman on Power. Yeah. And almost all the local government there, you can see his handwork, like what the solar electricity street lights in almost all the local communities.
All right. Why did bury this for us?
So politics aside,
take it home, Barry. So, one word for all the warring parties.
Okay, they should have the interest of the people that put them, at heart. But as long as we continue to make our political offices very, very attractive, it won't work. Because they are so attractive. That is why everybody wants to make sure they do whatever it takes to be there at all costs. He said, I'm there or nobody else will be there.
Yeah.
Like somebody just asked now that what are they doing for the people that put them, that elected them in office? It should be about us, not about them. But in most cases, it's always about the politician. They are always the largest beneficiary of this democracy. Whatever we get is just like crumbs, you know.
Okay, you know, I've heard it, cynics keep saying it, if 2 wrongs don't make a right, try 3, but not at a time like this.
Not at a time like this.
Yeah, I think all parties in the dispute.
They should find a way of resolving it, because the PDP will be the eventual loser should the chieftains go to war.
Okay. All right, then we must move on. You know, take you to Adamawa North now, where a gentleman, Senator Elisha Abbo, is still stealing the headlines, at least for the moment. 41-year-old Senator Abbo, first-timer, who was caught on video physically assaulting a lady, was arraigned at an Abuja magistrate's court on Monday. He entered a plea of not guilty of a 2-count charge of criminal force and assault and was granted bail on self-recognition, but in the sum of 5 million naira, with 2 reliable sureties in the same sum. The matter is adjourned to July 22nd for hearing. Wrongdoing, gentlemen, must be punished. Yeah. That's the law. It has nothing to do with what Jones thinks about Senator Abbo.
It's the law, and the law is very clear. And you see, this issue is of great significance, that we're not talking about corruption now. We're not talking about somebody embezzling money. We're not talking about something, that has to do with governance. But that we can actually bring our political office holders to questioning in things like this is a great leap for our democracy. Senator Elisha, is it Clifford now? There are also issues about the name. Is it Clifford Abbo, Elisha Abbo?
Elisha Abbo.
Okay, we should take Elisha Abbo. Okay? See?
These are all his names.
Oh, they're all his names. All right. Should by now have learned a great lesson. He did what he did, thinking he was just going to get away with it. It was after, according to the video, and according to what we have read, this happened after he has been elected, but he was yet to be sworn in.
Yeah.
So probably it was still...
May 11? Yeah. May 11, yeah.
He was still feeling, elected national senator of the Federal Republic.
He had not recovered from the victory.
From the celebration of the victory. And he went to that place, he expected to be worshipped. And then here is this young lady who feels, look, Oga, take it easy, and it earned her a lot of slaps. Now, he did what many of us felt was a bit noble, because there is no nobility in violence. But he did what some of us felt was a bit noble when he came out to apologize. Oh, I am sorry, this is not me. But if you put
why did he was reading from a text?
That's exactly what
for me, if you ask me, the true remorse would have been off the cuff.
Well, but you know our big man, it has to be prepared. Even if he can write himself, somebody must still do it.
Must have written.
Even when he is a professor, he will still have a speechwriter.
Because his delivery betrayed so
it was being read,
yeah,
obviously.
Exactly.
So probably he was even reading it for the first time. I watched that video. It was like he was seeing that piece of paper for the first time.
To me, I'm sorry.
From the way he was reading it. But if I had any doubt that those were not his thoughts, what happened in court yesterday proved to me that, I was right. If you said, I apologize, you have admitted guilt, you want to be forgiven, now you were in court. It would have been a simple issue for you to say, I am guilty as charged.
It's a summary court. Summary court. If you admit you are guilty, you are sentenced.
Oh, so are you now telling me that he lied when he said he was apologizing?
I'm not a lawyer.
Well, I'm saying it the way it is.
But the magistrate's court
is
a summary court.
I'm not thinking of what the magistrate will say.
Yeah.
I am telling you what he did when he was addressing us on TV and what he did yesterday in court. If he's a senator of the Federal Republic, his words should be his bounds. Now he's telling me I can't hold whatever he says.
Okay.
That is, you see, it has just introduced a new dimension to the entire scenario. If he were to have been under oath then, he lied under oath. Thank God he was just saying it for saying sake. He has just proven to us that, look, Nigerians, you needed to be told some lies. And I told you, now we're in court. It's a different ballgame.
He has a lawyer and he would have been duly advised.
We have to go to the court
the offense contravenes sections 262 and 263 of the Penal Code. So you want the case to go the whole hog?
There is no doubt about that. You know, law is what it is and not what it ought to be, as lawyer will tell us. You know, and I think if that is the position of the law, you know, he should not get a mere slap on the wrist and has to go home to say, okay, after all, there's apologize. What else do you want? No, it should go beyond that. And I think I want to congratulate the Nigerian police for doing it right this time around, because we have had cause to, you know,
why you know wait until they finish? You know,
at least, you know, in the past, it shows that we are getting away from culture of impunity gradually. In the past, police wouldn't have done anything for that man. They would have hide under the pretext of, you know, we have to wait for somebody to come and complain. Which was what they wanted to do initially. Especially if there, said no. There's overwhelming evidence in that video. There's overwhelming evidence in that video. That one is enough. You don't have to say until when the complainant come forward to complain. You know, maybe that person has no courage to come out and complain. Maybe she's afraid of the fact that this is a senator. Who am I to stand against a senator? You know, but you have the overwhelming evidence in form of video. Now use that one to heart. That is what police now acted upon. You know, so we need to thank them for that. You know, like I said, it shows that we are going away from the culture of impunity gradually. At least they've taken me to court.
Why they don't say we are media trying anybody? Ours is just to put it on the table. But Tony, you are a gentleman here, perhaps the only gentleman here. Mrs. Warmate Osimibra has reported formally. But what about restitution?
I don't see anything like that coming in.
Shouldn't he restitute?
The issue is this, Citizen Jones. Sorry, I'll come back. He was detained. Police claimed. I was expecting to see the visuals. He was brought to court. He was granted bail.
Self-recognition?
On self-recognition. And I know Nigerian politicians who have made mistakes like this, not enormous, a big one like this in the past, but gone through the same court process, and the matter dies.
Naturally.
Do it this way and calm the situation, everything will be okay. He will not be seen in court anymore. Take that to the bank. He will not. I will expect the lady in question to sue him. Even if his money is going to make from him, it's something. But you can't. He won't go to jail. Let's be factual. Let's be truthful to ourselves. The man will not. The senator in question.
If the offense can impose a fine.
Nigerian judiciary.
Oh, we should begin to
No, let's be realistic here. This is a hangout. We are gisting. We're Nigeria. We know these things. I was born here. No. I hope I'm happy. I'm very impressed with the police. I didn't even know they can bring him to court.
But to
so I can assure you. For me,
Tony, quickly take it home.
Let me finish. I'm impressed. He was in court yesterday. I see him taking pictures, taking selfies and all that. He's impressed with himself. That is over.
Yeah.
Mark today, I'm telling you, I'm not going to recant. I'm saying the case is dead. Put it down.
Are you losing your cool? Why did you bury it? 30 seconds?
For the fact that he has been brought to court.
I'm impressed with that.
We should be impressed with that, because in the past, it will not even happen at all. A big man like that, bringing him to court for slapping or for beating up a sales girls in one shop. Who cares? You know, police will have been a boy.
It could have been a boy.
Police will have do for one way or the other. But this time around, they brought him to court. We should commend them for that. Until when we get to a situation where they are not trying to mess up the case, I think we can still take it further from there.
So so nobody would say you are trying anybody. Let me thank Dare Odufor for coming.
Thank you very much.
Waidi Bakare, many thanks for your time. And gentleman Tony Waje,
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very kindly.
Thank you.
Tony, I'm not supposed to believe what you said. Okay, that will just about do it for the program this evening. You may also watch the program on other platforms. We'll show you on the screen and on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. The feedback channel is the same. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye for now. Take care.